Alright, hi everyone. So today we're going to be starting on my 30,000 mile maintenance schedule. Everything that you see in this picture here is what I'm going to be doing over the next 3 videos. So I have differential cover for the front diff. I'm going to be swapping out the fluids in the front differential, rear differential, and the transfer case, as well as doing the transmission fluid, doing an oil change, and swapping out the spark plugs just to round everything out for this 30,000 mile setup. Difference that I'm going to be doing here with the oil change is I actually found out that there's a little clip that I could purchase for my short nipple Fumoto drain valve. Apparently it's been a thing this entire time and I just had no idea, so I'm going to be trying it out for the first time, getting that all set up. And then I'll be swapping out the plugs with these new NGK plugs instead of the Ford Performance plugs. And they're made a little differently. But let's get into it. So, just like every other oil change, I'm going to put the truck up on these little ramps. These things are actually awesome. I've had them for years and they're fantastic. Whenever you have the vehicle jacked up or if it's on an uneven surface, make sure that you have the parking brake on and you have some shock blocks behind the rear wheels so that it doesn't roll, just for extra safety. So here I am opening up the new Fumoto drain valve plug attachment for the hose. It uses a 3/8 inch hose. I already had this from before. Previously I just stuck it on the actual short nipple itself. I didn't realize that there was this adapter. Apparently the metal adapters are new. They used to have a plastic one and they just upgraded it with this metal one. So I purchased that. It was really inexpensive, but definitely a necessity if you go with the short nipple. And I still think that that's the right way to go. Do the short nipple with this special attachment. It basically clips onto the short nipple and allows you to drain your oil very efficiently. So for this oil change, I'm just removing the oil filter access panel. There are 5 T40 Torx bit bolts, and then I'm also right here, I'm removing the 3 bolts, which are 10 millimeter, which cover up the oil pan drain plug. So once we get underneath the vehicle, you can see the Fumoto drain valve right there. I was able to connect the hose. It just clips right on, very secure. This again is a fantastic attachment. I had enough hose that I was able to run it directly into my drain pan because it's enclosed. I just threw it inside of those little drain holes, opened up the valve, and let the oil drain out. Once the oil is done draining, you just close the valve, put the blue safety clip back on, and disconnect the hose. It will pop right back off. When it's time to swap out the oil filter, I just use the access panel here. It is such a pain. I really would like to relocate this at some point in the future. I don't really know of a safe location to put a relocate kit. This time, whenever I pulled off the oil filter, I held it upward so that no extra oil drained out until I actually got it out from inside the vehicle. I lubed up the seal on the new one and screwed it right back in. The Amsoil oil filter actually has directions printed on it, and it says to hand tighten it and then turn it an extra 3/4 of a turn, which I did do. I think it's very important to do oil changes in 3 distinct steps. There's the drain portion. Once you're done draining, you seal back up the oil pan, whether it's a drain plug or a valve, whatever. You seal everything back up, you cover back up. When you're done with the oil filter, you do the same thing. That way, when you do it in those 3 steps, and this final step being the fill step, you're not worried about, oh, I forgot to put the drain plug in, I forgot to tighten, torque down the oil filter. Just 3 steps all in one, in that order to make sure that you're doing everything properly. And then once you're done dropping in the 6 quarts of oil, that's it for the oil change. Turn the vehicle on, back out, and then move on to your next project, which for me was the spark plugs. So the first set of spark plugs that I purchased were Ford Performance. These are Ruthenium ones that I got this time. NGK, they're pre-gapped. Why did I buy them? There was no specific reason other than the supplier that I got the spark plugs from last time, MPT Performance. I just ended up going to their website again to order the new ones, and I saw that they had these in stock and were recommending these now. So I went ahead and purchased them. And that's basically it. Again, the first thing that you're going to do when you're changing the spark plugs, remove the spark, right? So you're going to unplug the battery, 10mm socket, go ahead and unscrew it, pull the negative terminal off, and make sure that you have something covering it up so it can't kind of lock back into place and hit the negative terminal on the battery. Alright, so to pull off the engine cover, there are two 10mm nuts. Make sure you don't drop the nuts. I used a magnetic bolt to keep track of them. But you pull them off, there's two of them, and then you can pull off the engine cover. It's just a 6-cylinder and 6 spark plugs, right? So it's a 8mm socket to remove the bolts that hold in the ignition coils. I like doing each cylinder, finish up an entire cylinder, don't mix up the coils. Go ahead and unplug the coils, remove the bolt, and then pull the coil out before removing the spark plug. I did end up scoping only the first cylinder. I wasn't able to show it somehow. I didn't record it properly. There was a little bit more carbon than there was last time, but it wasn't anything significant. So I'll show the spark plugs here, the difference between the old ones and the new ones. The NGK have a different design, so we'll see how they work. I will note that I didn't have any additional performance gain or anything like that from the one-step colder plugs that I could note. I'm sure they're better for tuned vehicles, but if I'm not having any problems with the engine, I'm happy. So hopefully I don't have any issues with the NGK plugs. So I know I didn't mention this before, but it is a 5/8 inch, standard spark plug socket that you're going to want for this. I actually don't have a spark plug socket. I just have a standard 5/8 inch. I do need to order those. I realized that today, or the last time I did this. For the torque on the actual spark plug, it's going to be 11 foot-pounds. I ended up using a 1/4 inch torque wrench because the 3/8 inch torque wrench down at 11 foot-pounds, I couldn't feel it. So I would recommend that you would go with the smaller size just because it's easier to feel and you make sure that you're not over torquing the spark plug in there. that is spark plug number 6. So super easy, just replace all of them. Again, I recommend doing them one at a time and finish up each one before moving on to the next one so you don't have all of them out at the same time. Once you're done torquing everything down, I would leave the engine cover off just in case. Go ahead and reconnect the battery and start the vehicle up to make sure that everything is running appropriately. If you have any codes or errors, go ahead and recheck all of the wires to make sure that they're connected and that the coils are completely sealed up against, pressed all the way down up against the spark plug. So that's it for this video. The next video I'll be doing the rear differential, the transfer case, and the front differential, which was way too much fun. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.